Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Tuesday morning and we are still not over the fact that Dan Ashworth got sacked on Sunday evening after the Nottingham Forest game. 3-2 defeat, but we didn't expect him to get sacked. I mean, normally the manager gets sacked. Why did he get the sack and what is going on? There's been massive fallout from this decision, and of course all the fans are going crazy, not because of Dan Ashworth but because of the players who lost 3-2. This squad is simply not good enough and the fans have just had enough. They've had enough and they're speaking out, and not only are fans speaking out, but football legends of the club are also speaking out against the players. Everybody knows and has known for years that it's the players and not the manager or the backroom staff that's at fault at United. We know that these players are not fit for purpose and we need to call these players out and put a stop to this rubbish because we've had enough. We've had too many years of these mediocre players coming in and sitting there and seeing out their contracts and not caring about the club or the fans. We're going to be discussing that and lots more in today's show, so make sure you stick around, make sure you hit the like button on this video, and if you're not a subscriber to the Man United stream channel, what are you waiting for? We are the fastest growing Man United fan channel out there, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and more from one single daily dose. Now, Dan Ashworth got the sack on Sunday evening after the 3-2 defeat against Nottingham Forest. Now, we are going to do a separate video on this because there is a whole new area, it's a whole new discussion point that is going to take a long time. We're going to do an in-depth look at why Dan Ashworth got the sack, what led up to the sack, was it just a random decision or was it in a long time in the making? Now, most people last in McDonald's longer than 5 months, so why was Dan Ashworth sacked from this high-profile position? We will discuss that in lots of detail in our video dedicated to Dan Ashworth and his sacking. We're going to be discussing what led up to this sacking, how it happened, who was the key player behind his sacking, and where it all went wrong. We're going to be discussing that in a separate video, so keep a lookout for that. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that video. But let's return to Man United, the team itself, the players, and their performances on that pitch. 3-2 defeat against Nottingham Forest. Did the team play well? Of course they didn't. Could they have played better? Yes. But we've had criticism already of Ruben Amorim from ex-players like Gary Neville coming out saying that Ruben Amorim's changed the team too much. Wait up, did Ruben Amorim not confirm in his press conference, I'm going to be testing out all the players, I'm going to see who's good, who's not, I'm going to give every single player an opportunity. Not only will I give them an opportunity, I will be resting players because there's too many games coming up and we need to rotate and rotate quite quickly. He said that. So why the F is Gary Neville coming out with stupid stuff like this about, Ruben Amorim needs to play his first 11 and stick with it. What are you talking about, mate? What are you talking about? You were a shit manager out in Valencia and now you're giving advice on national TV to Ruben Amorim, who's just literally started the job 2-3 weeks ago and has come in and he's made it clear, look, I will be rotating the players, I will be switching it up because I not only want to rest the players, I don't want them to get injured, I don't want them to think that they've got no opportunity in my team. I want to give everyone a chance to play under me and prove me wrong. So why the hell is Gary Neville coming out saying, I think he needs to play his best 11 and stick with his 11 and it doesn't show enough trust in the 11 that he's gone out there? Well, why would he trust these 11 out there? They've failed manager after manager after manager, so why the hell would Gary Neville, after knowing that these players have failed so many different managers, why would he then ask the new manager to trust in these players? Absolutely mental. And this is the type of crap that these pundits start talking and then putting pressure on our manager at Man United. It's just stupid. But this was surprising coming from Gary Neville, the ex-Man United player. I mean, this is something that you'd expect from someone like Graham Souness or something. Some rubbish crap like this about him having to trust the players that he's got and playing the 11 players that are doing shit on the pitch. I mean, why would he make the substitutions? Absolutely stupid. does not make any sense. And can you imagine if Ruben Amorim did stick with the 11 and didn't bring anybody else on? Guess what? Gary Neville would be the first person to say he's not bringing on other players, not giving them opportunities. The thing is, they go on national TV, they need to say something, they need to sound clever, they need to give a different viewpoint and an explanation to what's going wrong at United and why they lost 3-2, and so they start spewing crap. That's all it is. So Gary Neville, please shut the hell up, go do something else if you need to, but do not start commenting on our team and our new manager who is going to cook and will be a top manager. He needs time, and he said it. It's like, look, it's not that he's not told us already that I will be rotating the players. He told us. He's told us time and time again, look, I'm going to be rotating players. I do not want them to get tired out. There's players out there who have just come back from injuries like Len Euro, De Ligt, Martinez, and I need to take them off. I need to take them off because they need to gradually come back up to fitness. They can't play a full 90 minutes. So why the hell would someone like Gary Neville come out with that rubbish? No, he needs to play his first 11. Absolute stupid. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about that. What do you think about these players? Look, I'm all for protecting players, but I have to admit, these players are shit. These players are absolutely crap and they're not fit for purpose. They are not good enough to play for Man United. There's lots of them in there. That's the problem. The problem is there's too many shit players and one or two decent players. So you can't get rid of the whole entire squad. And that's the problem. In fact, there was a really interesting statement made by Bruno Fernandes in a press conference with Ruben Amorim recently before the European game. And he said something on the lines of, well, look, it's easier to get rid of a manager than it is to get rid of the entire squad. And I thought that was really interesting because what essentially he was saying was, look, the rest of our squad is shit. The manager had nothing to do with it. So we was talking about obviously Ten Hag here, and he was asked about Ten Hag and why he, how he was sacked and what he thinks of Ruben Amorim coming in and blah, blah. And he then made those comments. And I thought that was really interesting because that gives you an insight to even Bruno Fernandes knowing that the players are shit, that the team is not good enough, that these players that we've got at United are simply not good enough to play in this team and go and fight for Champions League or even play in the Champions League. And he admits it. So everybody knows, even Ineos deep down know that these players are not good enough, but they can't get rid of the entire squad. And it's a business decision. It's financially not possible to start just selling all their players off and bringing in new players because, number one, they're not going to get the best price for the players that they've got, number one. Number two is that if they bring in other players and they just make wholesale changes, it's going to take a long time for that new team to start gelling. You are not going to get 11 new players coming in and start playing wonderful football. That's not how it works. So look, it's going to be a gradual process and it's going to be painful, and hence why Amorim has come out and said this. He said to the fans, he said to everybody watching, he said it to the press, look, it's going to be painful. We're going to have thunderstorms. We're going to have storms coming our way. And look, we're going to have to deal with them. And what he means by that is, we're going to play shit. We're going to lose games like we did against Nottingham Forest. But we're going to have to stick by. We're going to have to stick together and stick to the plan. And that's what he is doing. We're going to have to go through this period to reach to the other side. Now, in terms of backroom staff, what's going on with Dan Ashworth obviously being sacked. And then Ineos, there's been lots of discussion again about Ineos on their role in Man United, the 25%. And Glazers, where have they disappeared to? What is going on? We're going to discuss that in a separate video because that's a whole new ball game there. I'm telling you, there's a lot of issues behind the scenes at United, and we're going to discuss them in another video. But as far as things stand with this football team and the players on that pitch, we all know there needs to be a desperate change with the personnel. We need new players in. We need to get rid of key players that are simply not performing for United. We all know who they are. We don't need to start naming them. We all know each and every one of those players who's not performing, who's getting huge salaries, but they're not either fit or they're not playing up to the standard that they should be doing. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you subscribe. You're watching the Man United Stream channel by the fans for the fans.